Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to Thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody. Make us each a channel of Thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. When there's sorrow, may we sow Thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share Thy love. Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to Thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody. Make us each a channel of Thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow Thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share Thy love.
Hello, everybody. We had a big event last night, and so only the diehards came today, I suppose. The live wells, whoever didn't go to bed too late or something like that. Today we're going to have a music satsang. So we're going to go more deeply into music. But I want to talk a little bit about how we can really get as much out of chanting and the singing as possible. And one way is through deeper and deeper focus, and also through awareness of the words that we're singing. So when we chant, to really focus on the words, really focus on the chant. One of the things that keeps us from going deep in anything, whether it's meditation, chanting, whatever spiritual practice we have, is a lack of focus. And also a thought of, I already know this, and so I'm bored with it. I already know that. I already know that. I already know that. And not the ability to go beyond and deeper than the words, and not the ability or the desire to go deep into the vibration. Once we go beyond the superficial part that we might say, oh, I already know that, and go into the deep vibration, that is infinitely deep. We can always go deeper and deeper and deeper into the vibration. And we also use our willpower to do that as well. The only way to go deeper into the vibration is through focus and concentration. We already practice this every day in our lives. Whenever we have a desire, the mind focuses on it and can only think about that. So we know how to do it. But what we need to do is modify that. As soon as we focus on something worldly that we want, then what happens is we squeeze God out of the equation. Now, karma yoga is focusing on a task that needs to be done or a goal that needs to be made, which can be worldly or not. But knowing that God is the one doing it through us. And just intellectually knowing is not good enough. We have to feel the flow of energy coming from a sense of inspiration. That is what makes it karma yoga. We can each get very busy in doing. I got that done. Well, since it was for the Sangha, it must have been spiritual. So I did that for the Sangha, and I did that for the Sangha, and I did that for... But as long as we're doing it just kind of mindlessly, got that off my checklist, it is not spiritual. It's not karma yoga. It's close. I mean, at least, we're helping something that's about God. But it's still not karma yoga. Karma yoga is really allowing that flow, and that means an open mind. Very often we will focus on something we want. It's not what God wants for us. The first thing we need to do is get clear is on what does God want for me. And then we align our energies with God on that. And most of the time he's cooperative. Yes, you need to get that project done. Yes, you need to get that project done. Thank you for inviting me into your willpower today to let me help and do this through you. But as long as we focus on something we want, and it's a desire of our own, and we haven't checked in with God lately, then it's going to squeeze God out of the equation. Even desiring spiritual authority is something that will squeeze God out of the equation. There was a man that I knew who tried to move to Ananda village in the U.S. over and over again, and he would check in with Swamiji, and Swamiji would say, no, not yet. No, not yet. And he was always like, why? Why can't I move to the village? I want to be there. And he was very, very intelligent, really into Sanskrit, really into being able to speak Sanskrit perfectly, and he taught classes on it, and really felt the only effective way for Sanskrit is if you only say it exactly correctly, otherwise the mantra won't work for you. Just a real purist in that way. And Master talks about, yes, pronunciation is important, but vibration is even more important. And we can get the vibration right even if the outer thing is not completely right. So this guy finally did move to an Ananda community, into one, and it turned out, desired spiritual authority. It turned out his ego wanted to be adored as kind of a guru type. And so he would draw people in and try and get them to be his fans. And it just didn't work. He ended up, right now, he has his own Vedic institute now, and he's teaching Sanskrit on his own. Huh? Well, he grew a beard. He even looks like a guru and everything. He and I are close friends. I don't feel like he's some big egomaniac. But really, when he was desiring spiritual authority, and it was in his mind, I want to be in charge, I want to be the guru, even though the words weren't there. Oh, I would never say I want to be the guru. But will everybody please adore me? That kind of a thing. And I really want to be in charge. I could do that better. He had that attitude. But as soon as we're focusing on that, it takes God out of the equation. And he finally did get that in a way. He never was able to move to the village, but he moved into another community. And so his attitude flipped him out, took him out of Ananda. And I've seen it again and again where people will come in and try and really impose something they want and they think is the right way to do it and everything without trying to tune in to what's trying to happen. And boom, they find themselves outside. It's like, what just happened? Well, God probably did want him to have his own Sanskrit institute. I don't know why Swamiji kept saying no exactly, but he said to me, he felt he had worldly karma to work out, and that was why Swamiji was having him not move to Ananda village because he had that worldly karma to work out. Even though he tried to renounce the worldly karma, I'm not worldly. But nothing's worldly if we ask God to do it through us. So even it's like, what does this have to do with the music satsang? Chanting, when we learn how to chant, when we learn how to sing with focus and concentration, it's a form of karma yoga. And it's so easy to feel God flowing through when we're singing. It's less easy to feel God's flowing through when we're in front of a computer. But when we're singing, we can feel that. So we can use chanting and singing as a way of getting in tune with karma yoga, getting in tune with God flowing through us. And when we sing, yes, we want to sing well, yes, we want to sing right, all those kind of things, but focusing on God in that action, just as we do in meditation, brings God into the equation, you see? And it also is a practice, singing and chanting is a practice for desiring only God. It can be a little more confusing when we're at work and I desire this and I desire that and I desire, I want these other things. But kind of when we're in a spiritual environment, surrounded by spiritual friends, when we sing together, we can feel God more intensely. We can feel that really is the goal. We can really feel. And I'm going to read this wonderful passage from. Did I bring my glasses? Did I get my glasses from the room? Yoganandaji very often refers to us and himself in this as being Divine Mother's naughty baby. And having a Kindle is interesting because I wanted to find the naughty baby poem. And I forgot that he writes naughty baby in a lot of different areas. And naughty baby is the baby that won't be quiet when Divine Mother says, oh, well, here's some accomplishment. Or, here, have a little status. Or, here, you can be in charge of that little thing. Or, it's like, no, Divine Mother, I don't want that. I don't want that. I only want you. And in the Bible, there is the saying, which is so beautiful, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. So if we go for God first, no matter what, then things work out the right way. And so I'll read the naughty baby one. This one's called, I will be the naughty baby of Divine Mother. In the hall of life, decorated with mountains, stormy cataracts, and wild scenery, I have played long. Each time, when tired of play, I cried for thee. Thou didst drop down through the skylight of my heart's craving, some new doll of fame, friends, or prosperity to quiet me. This time, Divine Mother, I will play the naughty baby. I will sob unceasingly. No more shall the toys of earthly pleasure stop my cries. O Divine Mother, thou must come soon, or I will waken all creation with my cries. I will make all thy sleeping children wake and join me in a chorus of wails. Forsake thy busyness with the housework of thy creation. I demand attention. I demand thee. I no longer want thy playthings. There's the chant that we sing, I want only thee, Lord. I remember I went through this time where I thought, I can't sing this sincerely. This was probably 15 or so years ago. This is not true for me if I am still having desires for other things. How can I sing, I want only thee, Lord, thee, only thee, when I'm not living my life fully 100,000% in that direction? And so I was being kind of rigid with myself, and no, I must follow the truth only, and this is not fully the truth. But then I relaxed a little bit. I think all of us go through the militant phase of spirituality, especially when it's just such an exciting path. And so after a while, though, I really realized, yes, first of all, the soul wants God 1,000%. So if I'm in alignment with my soul, that is the truth, no matter where the other desires are going. Secondly, it's good to affirm and to, Master called the things that kind of keep us from going towards God thwarting cross currents of karma or thoughts. So thwarting cross currents. So we're trying to go there and a wind comes and pushes us this way and we can't quite go there, like a sailboat, And so singing, chanting with focus, concentration, affirmation, I want only thee, Lord, thee, only thee, helps cut through the cross current. It helps create the magnet that draws the energy up and kind of dissipates the other stuff to the side. Because in actuality, all the thwarting cross currents are really not as strong as once we get that magnet going towards God. They're really not that. But we feel they are when we're in it. One example was with just lower energy versus higher energy is someone was kind of harassing us on the street the other day. I don't know what they were saying, but they were yelling at us. Some people are very prejudiced against foreigners being here. So we were walking, ignoring the guy, and all we had to do was walk faster. He couldn't keep up. This is how it is. Even unfortunately, if you give a beggar something and then they keep following you, all you have to do is walk a little faster and then they can't keep up with you. So in this case, we knew just walk faster, and there he was. He just didn't have the energy. This is how our lower desires are. When we get that energy really going, then the lower desires are kind of like, hey, wait up, didn't you want a new car? It's like, no, I don't want a new car, My 10-year-old car is fine, get away. And so all we have to do is rev our energy up more. It's been kind of a weekend of energization exercises, talking about those even more. In fact, I even had the thought, I asked you late at night, but you were asleep. Did someone compile an energization exercise booklet that has all of the quotes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was thinking I might do that. Just to give all the things Master ever said and all the things Swamiji ever said about energization exercises. Because very often they're taught as, they're just this technique that's, yes, it's the physical body and everything, but it's not like the meditation technique we teach. But it is. Because energization exercise leads to bliss also. So each of these are techniques that lead to bliss. Om leads to bliss. Hansa leads to bliss. Energization leads to bliss. Kriya leads to bliss. So it is a very, very much on equal standing of all of our techniques. And so anyway, I think teaching it more in this way might help people understand it as well too. So what I'd like to do first is just have us do a song first, and then we'll go into a chant. This song is from our oratorio, which is the one that's about the series of songs that are about the life of Christ. And this song doesn't just apply to Christ's life, but it's called God is Truth. And we'll have the words up here. It's a short song. I wanted to have a short song. And I want us to say the words together first. Now, we'll do it twice through. We'll just say the words twice through. While you read it, really try and sense and understand it as much as possible. Not just what does the word mean, but what does it mean to me? How it maybe affects my relationship to God. So let's say it together. God is truth. God is love. Father, Mother, both are one. When our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. Every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. Before we say it one more time, I'll just say a couple things. You know, one of the beautiful things about Yoganandaji's description of God is referring to God as mother or father. And so you'll often see Swamiji talking a lot about Divine Mother, the feminine aspect of God, and he really felt that the feminine aspect was what called to him the most personal part. So when we sing this, you see it goes into mother. And so really feel that when we're singing this, we're talking about God that's very personal to us. The God that's right there protecting us. And then every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. Reminds me of when Master had an experience of Divine Mother, and she said that she had incarnated in his mother. And that, you know, so mothers can be a hint of the Divine Mother flowing through. And even Swamiji said he felt his mother was an actual saint. Before she had Swamiji, she said that she offered up Swamiji, this baby goes to God. So, you know, it's a very sacred thing. And so let's say the words again. God is truth. God is love. Father, Mother, both are one. When our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. Every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. So I'm going to sing it through, and if you want, go ahead and close your eyes and try and feel the vibration of the song. I'll do as best I can, and then we'll learn it line by line. God is truth, God is love, Father, Mother, both are one. When our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. Every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. And we can add feeling into the song. So when we say, when our hearts cry out in pain, you can feel that you don't have to feel the pain, but you can feel the compassion that Divine Mother would have. When our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. It's a prayer, it's a desire, that's a good desire. When we have desire for God, that's an okay desire to have. That one is non-dualistic and won't create new karma. So when our hearts cry out in pain, very often we reach for other things, but Mother brings us peace again. So the Divine Mother brings that verse. Every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. Such a beautiful thought of how the Divine Mother is manifested on the earth plane for everybody. Okay, so let's do line by line. And when you even think God is truth, God is love, try and feel. He's saying actually God the Father representing truth, God the Mother representing love, a more masculine, a more feminine sense. And so even try and feel that within yourself when you're singing this. So I'll sing one line and then you can repeat after me. God is truth, God is love. Together. God is truth, God is love. Father, Mother, both are one. Father, Mother, both are one. When our hearts cry out in pain, when our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. Mother, bring us peace again. Every mother brings to birth. Every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. Hints of thy love for all the earth. So should we try it together? Or should we do repeating one more time? Should we repeat one more time? Okay, let's do that. I was thinking we should, but I wanted to check in. Okay. God is... So this time I'll sing it once and then you can repeat after me. God is truth, God is love. God is truth, God is love. Father, Mother, both are one. Father, Mother, both are one. When our hearts cry out in pain, when our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. Mother, bring us peace again. Every mother brings to birth. Every mother brings to birth hints of thy love for all the earth. Hints of thy love for all the earth. You know, when you really focus just on that, everything else disappears. And you're just in the moment with the song. And there's no time, really. It's impossible to know how long that even took. Probably only 2 minutes at the most. But it feels forever. That's what that expansive feeling in meditation feels like. You don't even know what the time is because you're so immersed. You're so unaware of the externals and so focused that you can do that. We're going to do this with some chanting also. So let's try and sing this together. And it's just fine to close the eyes and really try and feel it within. God is truth, God is love. Father, Mother, both are one. When our hearts cry out in pain, Mother, bring us peace again. Every mother two ways to go with that song. So one was really to get that focus and the concentration, and the other is to say, I already know those words, why do I have to say them over and over again? And so if we were in the I already know the words, and this is getting to me, and I feel agitated, then it's a sign that the heart just needs to get calmer, which we know how to do through Hang Sa, we know how to do through pranayama. And then that quiets the nerves a little bit more. Once the nerves get quieter, then we can focus again. And that's just the ego saying, I already know this. That means nothing. But to be able to go deeper and deeper in the vibration. You know, having been on the path for 20 whatever years that I've been on, I am never bored by one chant we do. I'm not bored by any of the songs, singing them over and over again, because they're ever new. If you are present in the moment with the vibration, it's as though it never happened again. Dharmaraj and I were talking, whenever I give a talk, I don't even remember what I said. And then he made me feel better, because he said, Swamiji said he always forgot what he said, so that every time he said something, it felt new. And I feel that way. Every time I'm saying something, it just feels like a new thing to say. Not that it's like some empty vessel up there or anything, but it just feels ever new, ever joy, ever bliss. And so when we feel that way, then it's like, hey, guess what? There's bliss. Hey, guess what? There's vibration. And when you tune into that, nothing is boring. Nothing is repetitive. Nothing is, I already know that. And so it's just a matter of going deeper and deeper and more focused and concentrated. So do you want to put Door of My Heart up there? So we're going to chant Door of My Heart, and hopefully it'll be in a new way. And this might also invite, I already know that, but I wanted to do Door of My Heart and go deep into Door of My Heart, because we already know the words. And when you already know the words, then it allows you to have a deeper and deeper experience of it. And so Master said, so what we're going to try and do with this chanting technique is we're going to try and calm ourselves through the chanting, get the heart vibrations harmonized, get the body movements out of there. And the way to do that first is to chant the song loudly, or at least with willpower and intention. So we all know Door of My Heart. I don't mean Door of My Heart, so we don't have to do that. But we can do, Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. And at first, the energy is kind of going out, and we're like just singing it with all our heart. That's another way to put it. Enthusiastic heart energy. But the more and more we do that, with the repetition of the words, the fact that Yogananda Ji spiritualized this chant by singing it over and over again, he put a blueprint, a footprint in the ether of Door of My Heart. This is a chant that can take you to bliss. Every single song he chanted, and same with Swamiji, they spiritualized to the point that bliss exists in the ether with this chant. And so our job is to, how can I go deeper and deeper till I experience the bliss in that song? And so so with this, first we're going to chant loudly and energetically to get the energy up. It's okay even if there's, swaying of the body or whatever. That's the outward way we do. But then what we want to do is start bringing the energy in more and more. We want to start, just as we do in meditation, we want to start withdrawing the energy from the senses, the sense telephones. And I just love how Yogananda Ji says,
each of the senses, the sense telephones. Ring, ring, here's my smelling of the dosa out there. Ring, ring, I'm hearing, all the cars outside. Ring, ring, ooh, I like the feel of the harmonium. All these, hello, and we're answering the senses all the time. Hello, did you have something for me to smell? Do you have something for me to listen to? How about something to taste? So we have the sense telephones. And so we want to turn off the sense telephones. We want to, as we create that magnet, when we're chanting, focus at the point between the eyebrows. That energy that's going out will begin withdrawing inward into the spine. And then what will exist is the energy flow in the astral spine between the base of the spine and up. And that is what is going to then dominate after a while. And it's that magnet, along with that upper flow of devotional energy, that can bring that blissful state. And it can be a state of, again, no time. You're just in the moment. And the only thing is, there's a fine line between empty-minded chanting of the words and focus of the words. You see, we do go beyond the words in a way once the energy is withdrawn and we go up, but we don't want to lose focus of the meaning of the words. And not that the mind has to be fully engaged, but once the mind is fully comprehending the word, there's actually a vibration and feeling behind the words. So, door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, just for once, come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. I mean, it's such a perfect chant. Swami used to open with this chant almost every single time. It's like, okay, Swami, for the past 65 years, you have decided when you're opening something to sing this song. And every time it's new. Every time the vibration is just deep and new. Why? The willingness to feel the depth behind the words. Vibration is not boring. Superficial mental thoughts are very boring. So if we only stay in the superficial mental thought about things, it's like, I already thought that. We used to have, the mind is boring. The things that are excited is vibration and energy flow and truth. And all these things are incredibly exciting, thrilling, ever new. In one of the colonies that I lived in, every week we did the Festival of Light. And for some reason in America, Swamiji had us do it every week. For some reason in India, we don't. We do it about once a month or so. I don't know exactly why. I'm still trying to figure it out. But anyway, with the Festival of Light, for those of you who haven't experienced it, I don't know. Sundarajan, did you see that? Were you here when we did the Festival of Light? It was,
yes.
Okay. I think everybody has witnessed, because you were here also when we did Festival of Light. Yeah. So that's when we were standing up and Tulasi was leading the chanting and that kind of stuff. So we would do that every week. And then sure enough, after a few years of someone being around, they'd say, do we have to do that every week? And I was thinking in myself, wow, every week I love the vibration of that. But that person was so caught up into I have to say the same words every week. But it's not words. It's the meaning behind the word. It's consciousness. If you are in a higher consciousness state, then words don't have meaning. Words lose their meaning. So we need to learn to go beyond the word. So let's say door of my heart together. Just the words, it's helpful. Just read the words, or if you know the words, close your eyes and say it. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Did we say the will my I get really caught up in the energy and I can't even remember the words that we did. Okay, so we're going to sing it now. First sing it with full energy. Then I'll say withdraw a little bit. So that means a little less quiet, but still focused. Very often we confuse quieter with less energy. But what we want is quieter with more focus. So it becomes more and more like that until finally there's that pinpoint. So we're bringing it in. The focus is getting more, bringing it in, focus more, but quieter and quieter, because the more we're speaking outward, the more that's an outward sense telephone. So we're getting more and more quiet to call the energies to come in and come into the spine, until finally Yoganandaji said, once you've sung it enough, then the chant begins to sing itself for you. Those are times when we wake up in the morning with a chant on our mind. That happens to most people after being around for a while. And so that means that chant has been going over and over in the subconscious mind. That's good. Then, though, we can direct the energy even more through the magnet here to try and make it super conscious. That's when that yes, I hear it going on in my head, then goes up in higher consciousness towards a more blissful, joyful state. So you can be in the one state of consciousness where you're just hearing it, like when you wake up in the morning, you've come from subconsciousness, it's in your subconscious. The subconscious is the part that sleeps and is busy doing kind of the lower consciousness types of things. But the super consciousness is when we are in that joyful, ever new, blissful state. So that takes energy. From the subconscious state to super consciousness takes energy. So we will be gathering plenty of energy. We are programming our subconsciousness, but I doubt we'll hang out in the subconscious much. We're going to go straight for super consciousness in that blissful state, but it takes a while. So we'll chant and try and really go to that higher state, okay? so. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Did people feel the inward pull? Did people feel that? Did you feel it becoming more and more quiet outwardly and more strong and powerful inward? That's how you want to feel with every chant you sing. That's the goal of chanting. Sometimes if we don't sing a chant long enough, you can't get to that point. But when a chant is done long enough, you can go more and more inner and inner and inner until you feel that vibration and peace.